guys, Ashlane here coming at you today with a guide for level 6 Hogs for Town Hall 10. Now you saw on the screen this is part 1 of what will be a 2-part series. We'll discuss using Hogs for 3 stars at Town Hall 11 in the second episode. Today we're focusing solely on Town Hall 10. Let's hop into the strategy keys. So it's a 3-phase attack, especially the variations we're going to be discussing today. Going to be starting with Queen Walks. It's very effective with Queen Walks, mainly because using the Hogs and Valkyries, which we'll be using, just is a very fast-moving attack, so you're afforded the luxury of starting out with a Queen Walk on these attacks. Now, another good thing about using Valkyries in this attack is that your number 1 priority should be taking out the Inferno Towers, or at least distracting them, either with the Valkyries before you deploy the Hogs, or with spells such as Zap Quake, which we'll discuss both variations in today's episode. And then lastly, it's a perfect complement to the Valkyrie attack. Why? Just beyond the fact that the Valkyries are very fast moving, but Valkyries oftentimes they hit kind of a roadblock, especially against these anti-3-star bases, where you can't necessarily always open up the entire base using 3 jump spells or Earthquake and 1 jump spell. So when the Valkyries start to die out, that's when the Hogs make a perfect complement to the attack. So let's hop right into it here. All of these replays are going to be from the clan War Whales. They all did this attack strategy at Town Hall 10, and I think not only our clan, but also all my viewers can learn a lot of strategy basics from them, so huge shout out to them again. So you can see Captain Awesome here is going to go ahead and start his Queen Walk. And I tell you what, you guys are in for a real treat of a raid here, because he does a great job establishing the funnel here. He's going to deploy the Valkyries and the Golem up north a little bit, and this Queen is actually going to take out this compartment here, and then she's going to move her way, make her way south. And you can see the defensive concentration towards the south of this base is very light, very low. So the Queen's actually going to stay alive and merge with the rest of the troops towards the end of the raid. Now, like I discussed, the strategy keys obviously here are using your Valkyries to quickly engage both of the Inferno Towers. So you do want to use your jump spells or Earthquake spells, whatever you're using against a particular base you're hitting, to make sure you open up a direct lane to both of the Inferno Towers. Now, once both of the Inferno Towers are down, you can start deploying your level 6 Hogs, and level 6 Hogs are dramatically more effective than level 5 were. Sometimes they can survive through giant bombs without heal spells, and that's the biggest difference between the level 6 and level 5 Hogs that I've found so far, especially watching all these attacks, is that they're not as dependent on having to have heal spells to keep them alive, so it gives the attacker a lot more flexibility in terms of his spells, and then it allows you to use those mobility spells, those the jump spells and or Earthquake spells, if you need to open up the base for the Valkyries there. And we're going to see another variation, as I mentioned earlier, where we use the Zap Quake method to take out one of the Inferno Towers, because it's very difficult on the base that we'll see to actually access both of the Inferno Towers and move the Hogs around them. So let's go ahead and put that replay on so you can get an idea for when you might want to use this strategy. So see the Inferno Towers on this base. It's kind of an interesting setup here. One Inferno Tower is way up north, a little bit vulnerable there, but Mang decides to go ahead and engage right into that Inferno Tower, and then uses the Lightning spell and the Earthquake spell to go ahead and take care of that Inferno Tower, and then the Queen's going to have free reign of that little area, and now there's only one Inferno Tower left on the base, obviously, and Mang can go ahead and focus right on that with his Valkyries, and it's just going to be a really nice execution here. So the Queen, again, starting with the Queen Walk, you're afforded, again, the luxury of time on these attacks here. The level 6 Hogs do a lot of damage quickly, and the Valkyries, obviously, we all know, do a ton of damage really quickly as well. So at this point, we're just watching the Queen do her thing. You can take plenty of time here. You can even last up to 45 seconds or so on most attacks on the Queen Walk portion, and you'll still have plenty of time at the end of the day. So you can see the Queen just doing her thing here. 20% of the base already taken out here. He's going to be patient, going to take out the clan castle as well using a poison spell. Things are just looking really nice and solid here for Mang so far, and things seem to be going according to plan as well. So you can tell where he's going to hit the base with the Golem here in the Valkyries, and it's going to be right into that other Inferno Tower. He has 2 Golems, one in the clan castle here, Gonna use a nice spread of wizards here to set up the funnel, use some wall breakers to bust through that outer perimeter wall. And you'll notice he still has 2 jump spells left here, so he was able to take out the Inferno Tower with the Zapquake, taking the 2 jump spells for mobility after that. And he's gonna use the jump spells as soon as the troops get into the center here. He's gonna go ahead and use it to as soon as he takes down the Queen, to help open up a path to that remaining Inferno Tower. And then he's gonna surgically deploy the level 6 Hogs, starting at 6 o'clock, and he's using wizards deployed immediately after the Hogs. That's pretty obvious because the Hogs are taking out all the defensive units there, so the wizards will stay alive, and he's getting that DPS on the board sooner rather than later, which is a great strategy there. So you can see the attack still going pretty strong in the center of the base here with the kill squad. There was not that many Valkyries in this attack because he opted to bring more Hogs, and you can see deploying the Hogs, like I said, surgically here. No heal spell on the Hogs because he opted for the jump spells, and the King's still doing his thing. The Queen is at full health with the healers on the Queen, and that's the beautiful thing about the Queen Walk, is you're relying on your Queen at the start of the raid to take out, like in this case, about 20% of the base or more and the clan castle, and then you're relying heavily on the Queen at the end of the raid to be your major cleanup duty unit on the board. So the Hogs doing their thing here, a few left alive. The King is alive. The healers have conveniently switched to the King, but it doesn't really matter because there's no defensive units left on the board at this time. The Hogs did all the heavy lifting there, as well as the Queen. Very nice attack there, and this will be the 3rd and final replay of today's episode. Again, starting with the Queen Walk. We already talked about it. The Queen Walk is such an effective way to start any attack, really, especially these fast-moving Valkyrie attacks. Again, establishing the funnel on both sides, this time flanking the Queen using a wizard on each side to make sure the Queen goes directly towards that clan castle to engage it and take it out before the second phase of the attack starts. So we talk about 3-phase attacks. Phase 1 on these attacks is obviously the Queen Walk. After the Queen's done doing her thing, we go ahead and start phase 2, which is the GoVaHo portion of the GoVaHo, and then the Hogs will be phase 3, obviously. Here you can see Confederates busting a hole through the perimeter wall there, allowing the Queen a path to engage that clan castle. The defensive clan castle actually has a lava hound in it, so he's going to go ahead and use a poison spell before the hound pops, just to take out those archers in there as well, and just slow things down for the Queen. Also going to use a raid spell there, and then start phase 2 of his attack. You can see that Expo is locked onto the Queen, allowing those wizards to really have free reign, creating that funnel there around 10 o'clock or so, and that Golem's going to go ahead and distract the Queen as well as the rest of the defensive units, again starting to create a path to those Inferno Towers so he can use the Hogs. Now it's important to note he does have more max Hogs, all max Hogs in fact, in the clan castle, so altogether we have 13 Hogs used in this raid, and he's going to go ahead and just simply, like I said, just as soon as that second Inferno Tower is down, he's going to start deploying the Hogs. You can see them already around on that mortar right now, and the rest of the Hogs will be deployed around 3 o'clock, and then the clan castle around 2 o'clock, just merging with the rest of the troops there. And this is what I said in the beginning of the episode. This is why Hogs, especially level 6 Hogs, complement the Valkyries so well, because as soon as you're running out of space for the Valkyries to move, and that's where they get bogged down by the walls halfway through these raids, that's when the Hogs come into play, surgically deployed, taking out all the surrounding defensive units, allowing your Valkyries to stay alive, and then it's just a matter of cleanup, and that's why this attack is so effective. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was, you know, these are really impressive attacks, but if you can get, they look complex, but if you can get the basics down, you can actually, you know, when you think about it, it's still a 1, 2, 3 step attack strategy. You start with the Queen Walk, then you just direct your Valkyries and Golem into the Inferno Towers, and then you just surgically deploy the Hog around the edges when your Valks hit those roadblocks. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you learned a thing or two, and as always, take care, guys.
We don't play for fame, we don't play for cash. We just play for the glory and the crash of the ash.